Into the red zone, it's Carr. And he slides to avoid the hit. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. McManus's point after is good, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. First and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change of quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
That's it. 280. Like 7.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time.
Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Set. 280. Give me that ball. Middle. 64. Weak.
Slam. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up.
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
The tackle made back at his own 40.
180. And we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get easy alert.
Check nickel. Kill.
Hey, turn it up. Check. 6-6. Pull it high.
On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford. He gets it left side to Johnson. 4 yards on the pickup. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Keep playing.
Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, It's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. That's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
This is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Alert 3, alert 3, alert 3. Go. Mike 51, Mike 51. Quit talking about it and bring it.
5 down. 6:37. 12 Dumbo.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. He'll rifle this one deep right. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. A huge play there for Denver. 62 yards.
But I think it's about time I took my eyes off of the secondary or the guys with the football. How about the offensive line on that snap? They took care of business.
Absolutely, and when he can stay in the pocket like that, you're going to get big plays like we just saw. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they've got it with a 2nd down coming up. Now they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21.
40, Mike 40.
Here's Carr to throw. Complete to Bryant. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
This is caught. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a 1st down. They'll try to run with Lindsey. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. And Carr's going to keep it himself. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. Only a yard on the sneak. Not what he was hoping for, and it's 3rd down. So here we go on a 3rd and goal. This Lions defense, they haven't broken yet. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Well, the Broncos had 15 4th down conversions last year, most in the NFL, and they're going here. They're going with Lindsey. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Phillip Lindsey with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. Well, there was no secret there. They were in goal line formation. They wanted to pound it in on 4th and goal, and they did just that.
And how about the challenge? That's a challenge to the offensive line, which they eagerly accept. I haven't met a lineman yet that doesn't want to run the ball more than throw it because they get to fire out and really smack someone. And, boy, they got it done. I'm sure they were encouraging them on the sideline. Let's go, and let's run the ball as well. And they put it in for 6.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. He couldn't hook up with Amendola there, and now it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Check, 21. Hey, 50. Switch. 59.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Here's Sam Martin now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Fielded at the 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Just a fantastic punt return of 80 yards. And the Broncos push further out in front. And we always talk about kick returns being so exciting on kickoffs. Punt return almost equally exciting.
And typically we talk about the kickoff return being the most exciting 10 seconds in football. Let's just cut it in half for a punt return and make it the most exciting 5 seconds in football. It's a great, glamorous, dashing play.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Throw left side, taken in by Galladay.
Stafford's pass.
Oh, yeah!
To Kenny Galladay. A 9-yard gain on the play. And it's 3rd down.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Let's get off the field, D.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle of the field, doesn't it? Because you got to go out to the perimeter and cover those guys.
Yep, exactly. Got some good blocking, too. Helped him pick up the first. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Derek Wolfe there on the tackle. Now a play fake and it's Stafford. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Bradley Chubb in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here's Sam Martin now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Fielded just inside the 20. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And off his back foot, he'll heave this one deep. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Justin Coleman.
And that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And this, you'd hate to say that a drive in the first half must end in points when you're down 21-0. They're going to have to get something going fairly quickly.
I would agree totally with that, because if you're going to mount the comeback, it's going to have to come in bits and pieces. It doesn't just all come at one time, right? We haven't seen anything more than a 6-point touchdown ever in this game, right? So that's how it has to be done. Get points on the board now. Start your comeback. But you're exactly right. Let's get it going right here in this spot.
Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Lady!
Check in. Come up the ball. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
49, check 49. 22.
Out of the gun, Stafford. Looking deep now for Amendola. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is fourth down.
Hey, let's go, Call me prep.
X3, 218, chop it.
40 got. 40 got. Switch it. Come on, switch it. Check.
They are going to go for it. It's Stafford. Looking for Amendola, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Todd Davis. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Amendola, the intended receiver.
You're trailing. You're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with.
Let's put that team on the
Now after the INT, it's Carr. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Deshaun Hamilton, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Broncos push further out in front.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
Escaping the pressure right. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 18. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Watch the curl, watch the curl, watch the curl. Easy, kill. Hey, Charlie.
He finds the mic.
Hey, let's get some penetration here. Let's get some penetration. Express.
Pop. Mike 35, Mike.
The final shot here before half for Carr. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. It'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long.
White.
Slam.
80 weapon.
Here's Stafford. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Johnson on the counter. Touchdown, Detroit! Ty Johnson, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Lions are able to draw a bit closer. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
Prater for the extra point, and it's now a 28-7 ball game. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. Oh, now Lindsey lost the football. And he sneaks his... And nothing but daylight ahead. 30, the 20, 10. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Deshaun Hamilton, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Broncos push further out in front. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
On second down, a run with Lindsey. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Down! 180! You ain't got nothing! You ain't got nothing!
Throwing his car on third down, eluding the pressure right. He's got him in, complete. That's a first down and then some, a 32-yard pickup.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Carr. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags, and I believe this is going to be a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense, 1st and 10. They run it with Janovich, the fullback. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run the toss. It's Lindsey. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Phillip Lindsey, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
And the Lions' first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Joker, 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 Joker.
11.
Crunch, crunch.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber.
Now Johnson. And he'll get 2, maybe 3, up near the 37.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And 7 at the 37-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Wild Bill. Watch out.
53, ready.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
61, matchbox lights.
They go to Johnson again. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On the carry, it's Bawden. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down.
22. Blue draw quarters.
Here we go with Johnson. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
First down, Lions.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll run it with Johnson. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 35-yard line. That good for 19 and a first down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Here's Johnson. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Johnson. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. Welcome back now to Denver. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Operating from the gun, Stafford. Amendola catching it left side. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. I think probably just trying to draw him off there, it didn't work.
And defensively, that's what you work on all the time. Being in that spot and being able to not jump and give them the yardage that they were desiring.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
That'll be taken in the end zone. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
They'll start on the ground with Lindsey. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo.
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
3 down.
To throw on third down. Carr. Flush to his right. Now he'll let this one go. Deep left sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Take over first and 10 at their own 41-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want it to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Set, 20. 32! Recon, 132 fighter.
Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
We got to get this stop here, D. Shift. Alert! Middle.
From the gun, Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget. Absolutely.
Four down. 180. 802. Watch the boot.
On first and 10, it's Lindsey. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They'll go again with Lindsey. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Phillip Lindsay, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Broncos use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point from McManus is good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards, as he'll get this only back to the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Any day.
Tight dog.
Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They don't go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
It's 4th down.
Here's Sam Martin now, standing just outside his own goal line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Taken in at the 22. Oh, some strong running. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Shotgun now for Carr. And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all, and to me it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Let's go, let's go.
Johnson. And now look at him go. 20, 10. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point good by Prater, and that will shave one more off this lead. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Now he's going to throw deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Quandre Diggs there defensively. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. A run with Lindsey out of the gun. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
And the Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Broncos, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Raiders will come to town. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they hit double digits in losses as they fall to 5-10. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.